The world's total population is more than 7.5 billion. And obviously, that number sounds huge. However, it might feel a little more manageable once you learn that if every single one of those people stood shoulder to shoulder, they could all fit within the 500 square miles of Los Angeles, according to National Geographic. Unfortunately, this is one of the did you know facts you probably can't repeat to your friends, and that's because it's nearly impossible to pronounce. Tamatahake tangi hangako ao automati chirapukakapai kamanga horonokupokai henua katanada, who is in New Zealand and is 85 letters long. And when it comes to other super long place names, it's followed by Lanfairpol Gwynjilgo Jarich Werndrobo Lanti Silio Gagagok in Wales, Shargaga Jojman Shogagog Chabunagungumog in the US, Twi Buffels Me Teenscootmers Dudjiski at Fontaine in South Africa, and Ajpila Kudagare Kasaroy Aaron Barakalar in Spain. You might think you're accustomed to frigid air and blustery winds, but the average winter day has nothing on the coldest day ever recorded, which was -144 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature was recorded in Antarctica during a span of research between 2004 and 2016. Just a few breaths of air at that temperature would induce hemorrhaging in your lungs and kill you. Entomologists have estimated that there are at least 1 million trillion insects, and only 1% of that number is ants, according to the BBC. And if you took all those ants, about 10,000 trillion, and put them on one side of a giant scale, you could almost put all of the people in the world onto the other and balance things out. Unfortunately, as humans have become heavier, this probably wouldn't hold up today, but it once did. Francis Ratnieks, professor of apiculture at the University of Sussex, told the BBC this might have held true around 2,000 years ago. If the sun were hollow, you could fit 1 million Earths inside it, according to Cornell's Ask an Astronomer. That's because the sun has a radius 100 times that of the Earth. There's actually a word for when you're trying to say something and suddenly forget a specific word. It's lethologica. But is there a different word for when you can't remember the word for when you can't remember a word? Not yet. The next time you visit Paris, be sure to take a few pictures in front of the Eiffel Tower like a proper tourist. However, you should be aware of the fact that while it's totally legal to snap pics of the tower during the day, it's illegal to sell photos of the tower at night. That's because the rights to the building's evening light show belong to the artist who created it, so the image is therefore protected under French law. According to the International Shark Attack File, there have been just 439 fatal shark attacks worldwide since 1958. That's just 7.5 shark-related deaths per year. However, in India alone, 27 people perished from selfie-related accidents in 2015, according to the Washington Post. The next time you're in Chicago, be sure to head up to the top of Willis Tower. From the sky deck, which is 1,353 feet above the ground, you'll be able to see 4 different states on a clear day: Illinois, of course, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Actually, It doesn't. Bulls, along with all other cattle, are colorblind to red. Thus, the bull is likely irritated not by the muleta's color, but by the cape's movement as the matador whips it around. In support of this is the fact that a bull charges the matador's other cape, the larger capote, with equal fury. Yet this cape is magenta on one side and gold or blue on the other. The Wisconsin Master Cheesemaker program isn't for amateur dairy lovers. The prestigious program is so elite that candidates are required to have had a Wisconsin cheesemaker's license for at least 10 years before they're even eligible to apply. You also have to pass a series of courses on subjects like cheese technology, cheese grating, not grating, and another on being a cheese artisan. In Green Bank, West Virginia, no wireless signals are allowed, because they could interfere with the operation of the National Radio Astronomy Observatory's radio telescope. It takes Earth around 365 days to complete a trip around the Sun, which is why a year on our planet lasts for that many days. However, over on Uranus, which is a lot farther away from our star and follows a wider path around it, a single orbit takes 84 years. That means 1 year on Uranus lasts for nearly a century on Earth. Chrysippus of Soli, a Greek philosopher, is rumored to have died while laughing at a donkey eating figs. So, it is possible. The first mobile device to be called an iPhone was made by Cisco, not Apple. It allowed the user to use the voice functions of Skype without a computer. Apple announced its own product just 22 days later, and Cisco sued for trademark infringement. The lawsuit was ultimately settled out of court and both companies were allowed to keep using the name. However, you've probably never heard of the Cisco iPhone. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.